Blind with Riches, written and published by Rich Audiobooks. In our rush to achieve financial success, we often make a fundamental error that keeps abundance at arm's length. We leap into action before establishing alignment. This eager but misguided approach is like trying to drive a car with misaligned wheels. No matter how much fuel you give it or how skillfully you navigate, the vehicle will pull to one side, wear unevenly, and ultimately take you off course from your desired destination. The same principle applies to your journey toward abundance. When your thoughts, emotions, beliefs, and actions aren't in harmony with your wealth goals, every step forward becomes unnecessarily difficult. You might find yourself working harder than necessary, facing repeated obstacles, or watching others achieve with ease what you struggle to accomplish. These are classic signs of misalignment, symptoms that your inner wealth frequency isn't matched with your outer action. Lesson 1. Alignment before acceleration. Consider Sarah, a talented consultant who spent years pushing herself to build her business through traditional hustle methods. Despite her expertise and dedication, she kept hitting income plateaus and feeling exhausted. It wasn't until she paused to address her underlying beliefs about money and success that everything shifted. She discovered deep-seated patterns of unworthiness and scarcity thinking that were creating energetic resistance to the very abundance she sought. By first aligning her internal landscape with her desired outcomes, her external actions became more effective with less effort. Alignment isn't about perfect meditation practices or achieving some enlightened state. It's about creating coherence between your inner world and your outer goals. This means examining your relationship with money, success, and worthiness. Do you truly believe you deserve abundance? Are your actions stemming from inspiration or desperation? Does the path you're pursuing feel authentic to your values and desires? The practice of alignment begins with awareness. Notice how you feel when you think about money. Pay attention to the stories you tell yourself about wealth and wealthy people. Observe whether your financial goals excite you or fill you with dread. These subtle energetic signals provide valuable information about where you may need to adjust your inner compass before taking your next steps. True alignment creates a state of receptivity where abundance can flow naturally into your life. Think of it as preparing fertile soil before planting seeds. You can have the finest seeds and most elaborate irrigation system, but if the soil isn't properly prepared, growth will be stunted. Similarly, you can have excellent business strategies and work ethic, but if your internal environment isn't conducive to wealth, your results will be limited. Take Michael, a real estate investor who learned this lesson through experience. His initial approach was all action, analyzing markets, networking aggressively, and pursuing every possible deal. Yet success remained elusive until he addressed his misaligned beliefs about money and self-worth. Once he established internal coherence with his goals, opportunities began appearing effortlessly, and his portfolio grew naturally and sustainably. The beauty of prioritizing alignment is that it actually accelerates your progress toward abundance, even though it might feel counterintuitive to pause and look inward first. When you're aligned, you become a natural attractor for wealth rather than a pursuer of it. Your actions become more efficient and effective because they're powered by internal coherence rather than external force. Confidence doesn't mean you'll never face challenges or need to take decisive action. Rather, alignment ensures that when you do act, you're moving from a place of power and clarity rather than fear or desperation. It transforms your relationship with wealth from one of striving and struggling to one of flowing and allowing. The path to riches becomes less about forcing outcomes and more about aligning with the natural abundance that surrounds us all. Lesson 2. Checking in with your true desires. Most of us carry desires that aren't truly our own. We inherit dreams from our parents, absorb expectations from society, and internalize definitions of success from media and culture. These adopted desires often masquerade as our authentic wishes, leading us down paths that may bring material wealth but leave us feeling strangely empty. Consider the executive who climbed the corporate ladder because it seemed like the right thing to do, or the entrepreneur who built a business in an industry they felt obligated to pursue rather than one that lit them up inside. While these paths can lead to financial success, they often create an energetic misalignment that makes wealth feel heavy, difficult to maintain, or ultimately unsatisfying. Your true desires carry a distinct energetic signature. When you think about them, you feel an expansion in your chest, a lightness in your being, and a sense of rightness that transcends logical analysis. These authentic wants aren't about impressing others or fitting into societal molds. They emerge from your soul's unique blueprint for expression in the world. To distinguish between conditioned wants and soul desires, start by questioning your current goals. Ask yourself, if no one else would ever know about my success, would I still want this? Does this desire energize me or deplete me? Did this dream exist before I saw someone else achieve it? Your honest answers will reveal which desires are authentically yours and which are borrowed from others. The path to true abundance requires alignment with your soul's desires, not society's prescription for success. Perhaps your authentic path involves creating art that moves people, even though your conditioning suggests becoming a financial analyst. Maybe your soul yearns to teach and transform lives, while your adopted desires push you toward real estate investment. There's nothing inherently wrong with any career path. The key is ensuring it aligns with your genuine desires. Your wealth purpose, the unique way you're meant to create and experience abundance, emerges from this alignment with authentic desires. This purpose isn't just about making money. It's about creating value in a way that feels natural and joyful to you. When you operate from this space, wealth becomes a natural byproduct rather than a forced outcome. The process of realigning with your true desires often requires courage. You might need to disappoint others, challenge cultural norms, or step into uncertainty. But this temporary discomfort pales in comparison to the pain of pursuing wealth through misaligned actions. When you honor your authentic desires, you tap into a wellspring of energy that makes the journey toward abundance feel more like flowing downstream than pushing against the current. Take time to sit quietly with yourself, away from the noise of others' opinions and societal expectations. Allow yourself to dream without censorship or practical considerations. What would you create if you knew you couldn't fail? What form of value would you most naturally offer to the world? What kind of wealth would bring you the deepest sense of fulfillment? Let your answers emerge naturally, without forcing or judging them. As you reconnect with your true desires, you might notice they're simpler or different than you expected. They might not look impressive on paper or fit neatly into conventional success stories. But these authentic desires contain the seeds of your greatest abundance because they align with your essential nature. When you build your wealth journey on this foundation of authenticity, you create not just financial prosperity, but a deep sense of rightness and fulfillment that makes the wealth you attract feel like a natural extension of who you are. Lesson 3. Acting from fulfillment, not fear. Most people's relationship with money is built on a foundation of fear. We work because we're afraid of not having enough. We save because we're terrified of future uncertainty. We pursue opportunities primarily to avoid the pain of lack rather than to express our gifts. This fear-based approach to wealth creation is like trying to fill a bucket with a hole in the bottom, no matter how much we accumulate. The underlying anxiety remains. The key to sustainable abundance lies in a radical shift, acting from a place of fulfillment rather than fear. When our financial choices stem from wholeness instead of lack, we tap into a different quality of energy altogether. Think about times you've made decisions from a place of desperation versus times you've acted from inspiration. The outcomes likely differed dramatically, even if the actions themselves were similar. Fear-based financial patterns show up in subtle ways, working overtime not because you're energized by the project, but because you're afraid of missing out on extra income. Saying yes to opportunities that drain you because you're scared to turn down money. Checking your bank account obsessively not from wise stewardship, but from anxiety about lack. These fear-driven behaviors actually constrict our ability to receive abundance, creating a self-fulfilling prophecy of scarcity. The fulfillment-first approach begins with the profound truth: you are already whole. Your worth isn't determined by your net worth. From this foundation of inherent abundance, financial choices become expressions of your gifts rather than attempts to fill a void. You work because you're inspired to contribute, not because you're afraid of poverty. You save from a place of wisdom and self-care, not fearful hoarding. You pursue opportunities that align with your values, not just your anxieties. The shift requires examining the underlying beliefs driving your financial choices. Notice when scarcity thoughts arise. I'll never have enough. I have to take this opportunity or I'll regret it. I can't afford to rest. Rather than fighting these thoughts, simply observe them with compassion. Then consciously choose to act from fulfillment instead. Ask yourself, what would I choose if I knew I was already enough? What would I do if fear wasn't in the driver's seat? The paradox is that acting from fulfillment actually creates more abundance than acting from fear ever could. When we're no longer desperate to prove our worth through money, we make clearer decisions. We attract opportunities that truly serve us rather than clutching at anything that promises security. We bring our full creativity and presence to our work instead of operating from survival mode. This doesn't mean ignoring practical financial realities or never experiencing fear around money. Rather, it's about choosing which energy we let guide our actions. Fear can inform us, but it shouldn't drive us. When we feel the grip of financial anxiety, we can pause, breathe, and reconnect with our inherent wholeness before taking action. Practice acting from fulfillment by starting each day affirming your intrinsic worth. Before making financial decisions, check in with your body's wisdom. Does this choice feel expansive or contractive? Are you moving towards something inspiring or away from something frightening? Let joy be your compass rather than fear. Notice how this shift in energy begins attracting different opportunities and outcomes. The fulfillment-first approach transforms not just our financial reality, but our entire relationship with life. We stop trying to earn our right to exist and start expressing our natural abundance. Our actions become less frantic and more purposeful. We create wealth not from desperation, but from inspiration. This is the foundation of sustainable abundance, acting not from the fear of what we lack, but from the fullness of who we are. Lesson 4. Feeling rich before you see it. The greatest secret to manifesting wealth lies not in what you do, but in how you feel. This truth often appears counterintuitive to those conditioned by traditional wealth-building approaches. Yet the energetic principle of emotional precedence teaches us that our feelings create the template for our material reality. Just as a blueprint precedes a building, your emotional state regarding wealth precedes its physical manifestation. Consider how you feel when you check your bank account or receive a bill. Do you experience a subtle tightening in your chest, a slight grimace, or a habit of holding your breath? These emotional responses send powerful signals to the universe about your relationship with money. The good news is that you can consciously shift these patterns by cultivating wealthy feelings before external circumstances match them. Think of your emotional state as a radio frequency. When you consistently tune into feelings of abundance, security, and prosperity, you naturally align with experiences that match this frequency. This isn't about denial or pretending your current financial situation doesn't exist. Rather, it's about understanding that your present circumstances are the result of past emotional patterns, and your future circumstances will reflect your current emotional state. The practice of feeling wealthy begins with small, authentic moments. Perhaps it's savoring the richness of your morning coffee, appreciating the soft texture of your bed sheets, or feeling gratitude for the sunshine warming your skin. These seemingly simple experiences train your nervous system to recognize and expect abundance. As you cultivate these feelings, you'll notice opportunities and resources naturally gravitating toward you. Your brain doesn't distinguish between a vividly imagined experience and a real one. When you deliberately generate feelings of wealth, the satisfaction of making aligned purchases, the joy of sharing abundance, the peace of financial security, your neural pathways begin restructuring to support these new patterns. This neurological rewiring makes it easier to recognize and receive wealth-building opportunities when they appear. The gap between your current financial reality and desired wealth status often creates emotional tension. Instead of resisting this gap, use it as a playground for practicing wealthy feelings. When you see something you desire but cannot yet afford, rather than defaulting to feelings of lack or resignation, choose to feel the pleasure of knowing it will be yours at the perfect time. This shift from yearning to peaceful certainty dramatically alters your wealth trajectory. Creating an emotional wealth blueprint requires consistency and patience. Start by identifying the specific feelings you associate with true wealth. Perhaps it's freedom, security, generosity, or peace. Then intentionally generate these feelings throughout your day, regardless of external circumstances. As you walk down the street, carry yourself with the quiet confidence of someone who knows their abundance is assured. When you interact with others, embody the graciousness and ease of someone whose needs are abundantly met. The universe responds not to your words or actions, but to your energetic signature. When you maintain feelings of wealth despite temporary financial fluctuations, you demonstrate unshakable trust in your abundance. This unwavering emotional commitment creates a magnetic force that draws corresponding experiences into your life. Your role is simply to maintain the feeling of wealth while staying open to unexpected ways your abundance might manifest. Feeling rich isn't about manufacturing fake emotions or suppressing financial concerns. It's about finding authentic ways to connect with the essence of wealth in your daily experience. As you master this practice, you'll discover that true abundance has been within you all along, waiting to be felt into physical form. Your external reality will gradually reshape itself to match your internal experience of wealth, making the practice of feeling rich before seeing it one of your most powerful tools for manifesting abundance. Lesson 5. When less force brings more results. In the pursuit of wealth, we've been conditioned to believe that more effort always equals greater results. Push harder, work longer, force solutions. This is the conventional wisdom that leaves so many exhausted and frustrated on their path to abundance. Yet the most profound breakthrough in wealth creation comes when we understand that less force often brings more results. Consider how nature operates. A flower doesn't strain to bloom, a river doesn't struggle to flow, and a seed doesn't force itself to grow. There's an effortless unfolding that occurs when something is in alignment with its natural state. The same principle applies to wealth creation. When we're aligned with abundance, we don't need to force opportunities or manipulate circumstances. The right doors open with remarkable ease. This isn't about becoming passive or abandoning action altogether. Rather, it's about understanding the difference between inspired action and forced effort. Inspired action flows from a place of alignment and feels energizing, even when it requires focus and dedication. Forced effort, on the other hand, feels like pushing against a current. It depletes your energy and often yields diminishing return. The signs of forcing are clear once you know what to look for. You might find yourself overthinking every financial decision, trying to control all variables, or feeling anxious when things don't go exactly as planned. You might be working overtime not because you're inspired, but because you're afraid of missing out. These are indicators that you're operating from force rather than flow. Learning to surrender control doesn't mean giving up your goals. Instead, it means trusting that when you're aligned with abundance, the universe has ways of delivering results that are far more elegant than your carefully constructed plans. This trust allows you to remain open to unexpected opportunities and solutions that might be better than what you originally envisioned. Consider Sarah, a business owner who spent years pushing aggressive marketing campaigns and working 16-hour days. Despite her intense effort, her business struggled to grow. It wasn't until she stepped back, reconnected with her passion for her work, and allowed herself to operate more intuitively that things began to shift. Unexpectedly, clients started referring others to her. Collaborative opportunities emerged, and her business flourished with less effort than ever before. The art of allowing abundance requires a fundamental shift in how you approach wealth creation. Instead of forcing your way through obstacles, you learn to pause and ask, what's the path of least resistance here? Instead of rushing to action, you first ensure your energy is aligned with your desired outcome. This might mean taking a walk to clear your head before making an important financial decision, or waiting for clarity rather than pushing forward with uncertainty. Practical application of this principle involves regular check-ins with yourself. When pursuing a goal or opportunity, notice how your body feels. Is there tension and anxiety, or do you feel expansive and energized? Are you acting from a place of trust or fear? These physical and emotional signals can guide you toward aligned action and away from forced effort. The universe operates on the principle of least effort. Water doesn't climb uphill when there's a natural downward path. Similarly, wealth flows most abundantly when you align with opportunities that resonate with your authentic path, rather than forcing yourself down routes that feel resistant. This might mean saying no to logical opportunities that don't feel right, or saying yes to ventures that make little sense on paper but strongly align with your intuition. The paradox of surrender in wealth creation is that by loosening your grip, you often achieve better results than through forceful control. This doesn't mean becoming careless or passive. Rather, it means developing a refined sensitivity to the difference between aligned action and forced effort. When you master this distinction, you'll find yourself achieving more while struggling less, creating a sustainable approach to abundance that feels both natural and fulfilling. Lesson 6. Intuition as a wealth compass. Your intuition is your most sophisticated wealth-building instrument. far more nuanced than any spreadsheet or market analysis could ever be. This internal guidance system connects you directly to the infinite intelligence of the universe, offering real-time direction toward your highest prosperity path. Yet most people have been conditioned to override these subtle internal signals in favor of external logic and conventional financial wisdom. Think of your intuition as a personal wealth radar that's constantly scanning for opportunities, dangers, and optimal timing. It processes millions of data points that your conscious mind could never track, synthesizing them into clear feelings, hunches, and inner knowings. When you get that explicable urge to reach out to someone who later becomes a valuable business contact, or that gut feeling to hold off on an investment that subsequently tanks, that's your wealth intuition at work. Developing this inner compass begins with creating space for its quiet voice to be heard. The modern world's constant noise and information overload can drown out intuitive signals. Start by taking regular breaks from external input, turn off notifications, step away from screens, and allow yourself periods of genuine silence. During these quiet moments, practice tuning into your body's subtle responses to financial decisions and opportunities. Notice the sensations that arise when you contemplate different choices. A feeling of expansion, lightness, or excitement often signals alignment, while constriction, heaviness, or anxiety may indicate misalignment. Your wealth intuition communicates through multiple channels. Some people receive visual impressions or sudden mental images. Others experience physical sensations or emotional shifts. Still others hear internal words or phrases. Learning your personal intuitive language is key to leveraging this guidance system effectively. Pay attention to how your inner wisdom has communicated with you in the past, particularly in instances where you later wished you had listened to that small voice. The mind often resists intuitive guidance because it can't always explain the why behind the direction. This is where developing trust becomes essential. Start with low-stakes decisions where you can follow your intuitive hits without major risk. Document the outcomes. As you build a track record of successful intuitive guidance, your confidence in this system will naturally grow. Intuition operates from a broader perspective than your logical mind, taking into account factors and future possibilities that aren't yet visible to your conscious awareness. Integrating intuition into your wealth-building strategy doesn't mean abandoning practical analysis. Instead, think of it as adding a powerful additional dimension to your decision-making process. When evaluating opportunities, start with your intuitive feel, then use logic and research to validate and refine your approach. This combination of inner wisdom and practical intelligence creates a robust framework for financial choices. Your wealth intuition also serves as an internal alignment checker, helping you stay true to your authentic abundance path. It will often signal when you're veering off course or making choices based on others' expectations rather than your true desires. These signals might show up as persistent doubt, loss of enthusiasm, or a nagging sense that something isn't quite right. Learning to honor these messages can prevent costly detours and keep you moving toward your highest prosperity potential. As you strengthen your connection to this inner guidance system, you'll find yourself making decisions with greater ease and confidence. The constant second-guessing and analysis paralysis that plague many wealth seekers naturally diminish. You'll move through opportunities with a flow that feels both effortless and precise, knowing that you're being guided by something far more sophisticated than mental calculations alone could provide. This is the power of allowing your intuition to serve as your wealth compass. Lesson 7. Tuning into abundance flow. Money flows like water through our lives, following invisible currents of energy that most people never learn to perceive or navigate. Just as a skilled sailor can read the winds and tides, you can develop the ability to sense and align with the natural flow of abundance that surrounds you. This awareness begins with understanding that wealth isn't a static destination, but rather a dynamic current you can tap into at any moment. The universal abundance current exists as a constant stream of potential, carrying opportunities, resources, and connections to everyone it touches. However, your ability to receive from this flow depends entirely on your energetic frequency. Think of it like a radio. You can only receive the stations that match your tuning. When your personal frequency resonates with abundance, you naturally attract and receive more of it, without struggle or strain. Your wealth frequency is composed of your beliefs, emotions, expectations, and energy around money. Many people unknowingly operate at a frequency of lack, worry, or unworthiness, which creates static in their abundance reception. The good news is that you can consciously adjust your frequency through focused attention and practice. Start by becoming aware of your current money vibration. Notice how you feel when you think about wealth, pay bills, or make financial decisions. To raise your abundance vibration, immerse yourself in the energy of prosperity. Spend time in wealthy environments, surround yourself with abundance-minded people, and engage in activities that make you feel prosperous. This isn't about pretending or faking it till you make it. It's about genuinely shifting your energy to match the frequency of wealth. When you walk through an elegant hotel lobby or high-end store, don't focus on what you can't afford. Instead, appreciate the beauty and allow yourself to feel at home in that energy. Clearing energetic blocks is crucial for maintaining clear reception of abundance. These blocks often stem from past experiences, limiting beliefs, or unconscious programming about money. Through meditation, energy work, or journaling, identify what's creating interference in your wealth frequency. Common blocks include beliefs like, money is hard to come by, or wealthy people are unethical. As you uncover these blocks, consciously release them and replace them with aligned beliefs that support your abundance reception. The wealth reception meditation is a powerful tool for tuning into abundance flow. Find a quiet space, close your eyes, and imagine yourself as a receiving station for prosperity. Visualize golden light flowing into your energy field, filling you with the frequency of abundance. Feel your cells vibrating with this wealthy energy and notice any areas of resistance or constriction. Breathe into these areas, allowing them to soften and open to receive more fully. During financial challenges, maintaining your abundance frequency becomes even more important. It's easy to let temporary circumstances pull your vibration down into worry or lack. Instead, use these moments as opportunities to strengthen your energetic alignment. The universal abundance current hasn't stopped flowing just because you're experiencing a temporary ebb. Stay focused on the feeling of wealth, even when external evidence suggests otherwise. Your relationship with the abundance flow is dynamic and ever-evolving. As you become more attuned to this energy, you'll notice subtle guidance showing you when to act, when to wait, and how to position yourself for maximum reception. Trust these nudges. They're your inner guidance system helping you stay in the flow. With practice, you'll develop an almost magnetic ability to attract opportunities and resources that perfectly match your needs and desires. The more you consciously engage with abundance flow, the more natural and effortless wealth creation becomes. Rather than pushing and striving, you'll find yourself being carried by the current of prosperity, experiencing synchronicities and unexpected blessings as your normal way of life. This is the art of tuning into abundance, not as something to chase, but as an energy to embody and express through your very being. Lesson 8. Resting without guilt. In our achievement-driven society, rest has become something we must earn rather than recognize as an essential part of the wealth creation process. This deeply ingrained belief that constant motion equals progress has created a generation of burned-out entrepreneurs and professionals who ironically block their abundance by refusing to pause and recharge. The truth about rest is counterintuitive. It's not a reward for hard work, but rather a crucial ingredient in manifesting wealth. When we allow ourselves to step back, our energy field expands, creating more space for abundance to flow in. Think of it like a garden, constantly tilling and planting without allowing the soil to rest, eventually depletes the earth of its nutrients. Similarly, your wealth-attracting capacity requires foul periods to regenerate and strengthen. The guilt that accompanies rest often stems from childhood programming about productivity and worth. You may have absorbed messages that your value is tied to your output, making any form of rest feel like a moral failing. This guilt creates energetic resistance that actually repels abundance. When you rest with guilt, you're sending mixed signals to the universe, asking for wealth while simultaneously believing you don't deserve to receive it unless you're constantly striving. Strategic rest is different from collapse. When you wait until you're completely depleted to take a break, you're operating from a scarcity mindset that assumes rest must be earned through exhaustion. True strategic rest is proactive. It's consciously choosing to pause while you still have energy, knowing that this choice amplifies your manifesting power. This might look like taking a midday walk, enjoying a leisurely lunch without checking emails, or dedicating entire days to activities that rejuvenate you. The most successful wealth creators understand that their energy is their most valuable asset. They recognize that maintaining high vibrations requires regular periods of restoration. When you're well rested, your intuition becomes sharper, your decisions more aligned, and your actions more efficient. You begin to operate from a place of inspired action rather than desperate pushing, which naturally attracts more abundance with less effort. Consider how nature operates in cycles of activity and rest. Trees don't produce fruit year-round. They have seasons of dormancy that are crucial for their next period of abundance. Your wealth creation journey follows similar natural rhythms. Fighting against these cycles by pushing through fatigue not only diminishes your manifestation power, but also creates resistance in your abundance flow. Practicing guilt-free rest requires a fundamental shift in how you view productivity. Instead of measuring your worth by your output, begin to recognize that your state of being is what truly attracts wealth. When you're rested, your energy field is clear and receptive, making you a powerful magnet for abundance. This might mean saying no to opportunities that don't align with your energy levels or setting boundaries around your rest time without apologizing. The paradox of rest is that it often accelerates your path to wealth. When you allow yourself to step back, solutions appear more easily, opportunities arise more naturally, and your actions become more impactful. Your rested mind becomes a clearer channel for divine guidance, leading you to inspired ideas and aligned opportunities that stressed thinking could never access. Creating a rest ritual can help normalize this practice in your wealth journey. This might include regular meditation periods, scheduled breaks throughout your day, or dedicated restoration days. As you begin to trust in the power of rest, you'll notice that your wealth manifestation becomes more effortless and your relationship with abundance deepens. The key is to approach rest not as a luxury or an indulgence, but as a fundamental aspect of your wealth creation strategy. Lesson 9. Trusting divine timing. The dance between desire and manifestation follows a rhythm that often differs from our preferred tempo. When it comes to wealth creation, one of the most challenging yet crucial skills to develop is trust in divine timing. The perfect orchestration of events that leads to our highest good, even when the pace feels uncomfortably slow or surprisingly swift. Many of us carry an internal stopwatch for our financial goals, complete with self-imposed deadlines and rigid expectations about when abundance should arrive. We look at others' success timelines and convince ourselves that we're falling behind, or that wealth should have manifested by now. This attachment to timing creates resistance that actually delays our manifestations and blocks the natural flow of abundance. Divine timing operates on a scale far grander than our limited human perspective can fully grasp. What appears as a delay might be protecting us from a premature launch that would have failed, or allowing necessary pieces to align in ways we couldn't have engineered ourselves. That business deal that fell through might have saved you from a partnership that would have drained your energy. That period in your finances might be creating space for you to develop crucial skills or connections that will exponentially increase your future wealth. Learning to trust divine timing requires a profound surrender of control, not in a passive way, but in an active partnership with the universe. It means continuing to take inspired action while releasing attachment to exactly how and when results will manifest. This trust is built through experiencing firsthand how perfect the timing actually is when we look back at past events in our lives. Consider keeping an abundance timing journal where you document the perfect unfolding of events in your life. Notice how often things you once viewed as obstacles or delays turn out to be blessings in disguise. This practice builds evidence for your logical mind that divine timing can be trusted, making it easier to maintain faith during future periods of apparent delay. The key to working with divine timing is to remain in a state of active anticipation rather than passive waiting. Continue moving forward with inspired action while maintaining deep trust that everything is unfolding exactly as it should. This might mean continuing to network and develop your skills during a career transition, while trusting that the perfect opportunity will appear at the right moment. Or it could mean staying committed to your savings plan during a period of slower growth, knowing that compound interest works in divine timing too. Wealth consciousness exists outside of linear time. When you're truly aligned with abundance, you can feel wealthy now, regardless of when the physical manifestation appears. This present moment abundance awareness actually accelerates the manifestation process by removing the resistance of waiting and wanting. Time itself is a human construct, but divine timing operates in the eternal now. By releasing our grip on when things should happen and trusting in the perfect unfolding of events, we allow abundance to flow through the path of least resistance. This trust becomes a form of alignment that attracts, rather than pursues, wealth, allowing it to manifest with an ease and grace that our forcing and rushing could never achieve. The universe has perfect timing, not our timing, but timing that serves our highest good and the highest good of all involved. When we sync our internal rhythm with this divine orchestration, we enter a flow state where abundance arrives not just at the right time, but in far better ways than we could have planned ourselves. Trust in this timing becomes one of our greatest allies in creating sustainable, aligned wealth. Lesson 10. Wealth as a natural outcome of alignment. When you truly understand and embody alignment, wealth becomes as natural as breathing. Just as a tree doesn't strain to grow or a river doesn't force its flow, abundance manifests effortlessly when you're in perfect harmony with your highest path. This final chapter brings together everything we've explored about alignment and shows how wealth naturally blossoms from this state of inner coherence. Consider how a garden flourishes when all conditions align: proper sunlight, rich soil, adequate water, and optimal temperature. The plants don't push or struggle, they simply grow in response to their supportive environment. Your wealth journey follows the same natural law. When your thoughts, emotions, actions, and energy field align with abundance, money flows to you as naturally as water flows downstream. This alignment-first approach revolutionizes traditional wealth creation paradigms. Instead of chasing money through constant doing, pushing, and striving, you create an internal environment where wealth can't help but manifest. Think of alignment as your energetic soil. When it's rich and fertile, whatever you plant will thrive. This doesn't mean you never take action, but rather that your actions spring from a place of deep alignment rather than desperate pursuit. The universe operates through the path of least resistance. When you're aligned, you become like a clear channel through which abundance can flow freely. Misalignment, on the other hand, creates energetic interference that blocks this natural flow. It's like trying to tune into a radio station when you're perfectly aligned with the frequency. The broadcast comes through clearly. Even slight misalignment results in static and distortion. The relationship with wealth transforms when you understand this principle. Rather than seeing money as something to chase or capture, you recognize it as a natural expression of your aligned state. The shift in perspective changes everything. Instead of asking, "What do I need to do to get rich?" you begin asking, "How can I bring myself into deeper alignment with abundance?" The focus moves from external actions to internal harmony. This natural approach to wealth also eliminates the exhausting boom and bust cycles that characterize many financial journeys. When wealth comes through alignment rather than force, it tends to be more sustainable and stable. Think of it like building a house. When the foundation is perfectly aligned, the entire structure remains solid through any storm. Similarly, wealth built on alignment can weather any economic climate. Your role in this process is both simpler and more profound than you might imagine. Rather than trying to control or manipulate external circumstances, your primary task is maintaining your alignment with abundance. This means regularly checking in with your internal state, adjusting your energy when needed, and trusting the natural unfolding of wealth in your life. The evidence of this truth surrounds us in nature. Every aspect of the natural world demonstrates abundance through alignment. A beehive produces excess honey when all elements are in harmony. A fruit tree bears more than enough fruit when properly aligned with its environment. These natural systems never worry about scarcity or forced production. They simply maintain their alignment and allow abundance to flow. As you integrate the principles from this book, you'll find yourself naturally shifting from a paradigm of pursuit to one of alignment. Wealth ceases to be something you chase and becomes something you allow through your aligned state. This is the ultimate freedom, knowing that abundance is your natural state when you're in alignment with your highest self and the universal flow of prosperity. Your journey to wealth becomes a journey of alignment, and this shift changes everything. Rather than exhausting yourself with endless doing, you focus on being in harmony with abundance. This approach not only brings greater financial rewards, but also delivers them in a way that feels natural, joyful, and sustainable. When you're truly aligned, wealth isn't just something you have, it's something you are.